see Michael West. Collision Depot, they will fix and repair to the highest standard. The District Coffee Company, downtown Ocean Springs, and the new location, Pascagoula. Captain Al's, Gulfport, Mississippi. Go see Stacy and Bert.
We offer home, auto, commercial, builders, rips, and life insurance.
Join our podcast with McCade Hibbert and Anthony Potera.
Good evening. Welcome to Dem Boys Podcast. Tonight we have a special guest for you. He is a pillar of the Ocean Springs community. He is a world-famous line cook. He is the world's worst sports bettor. He's such a bad sports bettor, he bet on Taylor Swift to win the Super Bowl. This guy is widely renowned as the world's greatest boss. With no further ado, let me introduce to you Dem District Boys and Will Taylor.
Yeah. Wow. What an intro. That's great. The Taylor Swift plug, huh? That's it.
What'd you end up putting on that game?
Well, I like the Eagles the whole way. So I wasn't, you got to understand though. So I'm a Bengals fan. So my, I guess, passion for the Bengals has led to a small dislike of the Chiefs. So, it is what it is. I was happy for the outcome. By all means, but yeah,
you had no stress throughout the whole game.
Yeah. No,
you were chilling.
That was a blowout, 100% a blowout, but enjoyed it nonetheless.
I think they were very. I think they're just used to winning, so they just didn't even try.
Yeah, it's hard to hide talent for sure, and I'm sure I'm gonna say that a lot. I love saying that, but they got a lot of talent there for the Eagles by all means. But if my Bengals weren't in it, yeah, didn't want the Chiefs to.
So Will, where are you from?
Born and raised in West Point, Mississippi, up north. Yeah. So right next to Starkville, little small town. Really the only thing that we had in West Point was Mossy Oak was originated in West Point, well-known camouflage that everybody knows about. And then Old Waverly, the golf course, one of the best courses in the state. So
where's that compared to Grenada?
I think we played y'all in high school, maybe. I'm thinking West Point,
So I went to Oak Hill Academy, so we always played Kirk Academy.
Oh, okay.
That was in Grenada. We always made the trek over there, and it was a good little rivalry. Actually, Grenada Country Club is one of my favorite golf courses.
That's what Warren was saying, man. But it's downhill these days, man. It's not.
Well, hadn't been there in a while. By all means, when I played in college, I actually went back there, and I think it was like 2000. And won the Grenada Invitational. So my name's somewhere in Grenada. I'm not sure where, but there's a plaque somewhere running around here.
The golf course probably still in there. No, I didn't know we had a golf course. It's funny we say this because we've vandalized that course. And I feel terrible now, but we stole some golf carts and just there was no security cameras back then.
Yeah, I'm sure it was easy to do. You know, not a whole lot to do in Grenada, huh?
I guess I only feel bad now about it because y'all enjoyed it so much, but we got Grenada Lake and we got a country.
I haven't been there yet, so I'm from Ocean Springs.
We're not taking you either.
Yeah, I need to go. But we've been. His cousin Justin had he was in jail for 6 years, 1 month for a child support they paid, and they kept him in county jail with no misdemeanor, no felony. That's Justin right there. We just did a podcast with him, and the more we dig with the podcast with him telling his story, with his son that he went to jail for, Bo, that lives down here now. Yeah, we're not allowed to be there, really.
I'm not going.
We should try though.
I've never been in a long time.
My in-law, they live in Lumberton. That's about as far as I get in Mississippi.
I understand. But yeah, born and raised in West Point. That was it. Grew up doing the golf thing. Literally, golf was it. Like that's all we had up there. We had just a group of guys, like kids my age, that ended up playing collegiately, and then I just kind of followed in their footsteps. That was kind of always the plan. Left West Point, went to junior college in Tuscaloosa, ended up playing golf at Southern Miss, and didn't leave Hattiesburg until I came down here. So it's kind of not many stops on the journey by any means.
So let's go to Southern Miss. I know a bunch of your buddies. I actually have Coco as my screensaver. This is me and Cam been doing this running joke for like 2 years.
Old Colin, yeah.
And we put he's still my screensaver.
We seen a lot of Southern Miss athletic events together for sure. Hattiesburg's a cool little area. Like it was fun. We had a good time with it. Still have a ton of friends in the area, but for me, once we opened this location, I'm sure we'll get into all that. Came down here and immediately fell in love with Ocean Springs. It was like, man, it's time to go. Yeah. So that was the journey.
I said last night I ain't been out of the golf cart district in a year, and it's kind of true, man.
Yeah, I mean, I have people all the time that come visit, end up here, and they're like, where should we stay? Send them, to the Roost over there, and they're like, get here on Friday, and then Monday morning they're like, wasn't sure where my car was. Yeah, exactly. They're like, my car never moved, and then the next week they're like, all right, where are we looking for? Where are we at here?
Yeah. It's like, I don't even know how to drive my truck anymore, dude. When I get in it,
I mean, it's that there's a lot of people that never leave and go across that bridge.
That's Paige.
It's different.
He forgets how to drive every now and then. You gotta watch him.
Yeah. When I lived downtown, I was the same way. Car, unsure where it was. Made like a couple bank runs each week, and then other than that, it was like didn't have a reason to even drive. So helped fall in love with it by all means.
Your first restaurant was at Hattiesburg?
Yeah, so we opened the Glory Bound Hattiesburg in 2009, in December of 2009. So that location just turned 15, which snuck up on us by all means. We actually were in a meeting down here because we had just opened the garage, and somebody that actually worked for me at that location was like, hey, isn't it like the anniversary today? I was like, man, I don't know. And then you start running everything back. It's like, wow, it's been 15 years. And I was like, one, how's it been that long? And then two, that's a celebration. Like, why aren't we celebrating that? Because the industry's so hard and so difficult. It's like, everybody knows what the stats are within the industry, but like when it sneaks up on you like that, you've never stopped. Like you just keep moving. So
that's incredible, man. Congratulations.
I appreciate it. It's been fun. But yeah, Hattiesburg was the first one, and then that kind of jump started the journey from there.
I used to go there in college all the time. Y'all had these 2-for-1 drink specials right before class. I used to go there all the time.
I'm sure that helped with the grades, didn't it?
Days, baby.
It was so I dug into like some YouTube video. It was over, I think, food service, and it was you went 13 days backpacking to figure out the restaurant.
Yeah, so my whole journey into this thing was I never was involved in food at all. Like when I was growing up, love my mom to death. She's a great cook, but it was Monday was chicken spaghetti, Tuesday's meatloaf. Like it was a routine. It was, you don't get in the kitchen. I never got in the kitchen, never got in the kitchen at all until I started working at the original Mugshots in Hattiesburg. After I graduated in 2005, I think I was just hanging out there so much that they were like, hey dude, you're here all the time. Why don't you just start working? It's like, sounds good. So, and they had just started, and I knew the guys that both opened that brand. So it was funny to be on the front end of that and really soak up everything and watch that brand grow into what it did. And I did. I worked there until we opened the first Glory Bound location. So, in which they called me one day. The funny part is I used to check IDs. I know that's going to sound funny, but it was me and a 7-foot Jamaican basketball player named Dwayne. And
7 foot?
Yes, he was huge. So I obviously was not a bouncer, even though I was at the front door, but I was the ID checker. I was the yay or the nay. And Dwayne, bless his heart, would always handle the problems. And I'll never forget, we had something happened one night and a little altercation, and Dwayne, after it was all settled, he looked at me, he was like, where were you? I was like, what you think I was gonna do? Like, come on, man. Like I'm the yay or the nay. I'm not a bouncer by any means. But I started that and then got a call I'll never forget, it was like on a Friday morning, and they had just started opening for lunch, and I'd never been in the kitchen before, and one of the owners called and was like, hey, we need you up here dropping buns and dropping fries. I was like, all right, well, here I come. And got in there, had no idea what I was doing, messed up a bunch of fries, messed up a bunch of buns, got yelled at a lot, and then just figured it out from there, but immediately fell in love to it. Like it was the challenge of it, to me, I grew up playing golf, and golf's the only sport I don't know that anybody's ever been perfect at. You always have the perfect game in baseball. You always have all this other stuff, but I've never seen anybody birdie 18 holes. So for me, it's just the challenge of what it was. And I just related that straight to the restaurant industry. Which I think was a good thing out of the gate. But then, as you progress into things, it's like you get your own little set of challenges.
It's that one good game in golf that keeps you going, though.
Yeah, it's all it takes. It's just one good shot, and you're going back for sure. But that was it. That was a growing up model. There was no backup plan. Like when I grew up playing golf, the whole plan was we're just going to get pro at one point or another. Wanted to leave after junior college after I had a pretty good couple years there, and we won a national championship, made All-American twice, went to my dad, and I was like, hey, I think I'm ready. And he was like, there's no way you're ready. And then I went to Southern Miss and quickly got burned out real fast and didn't pick up a club for a few years. And that's when the whole restaurant thing kind of entered my life in a sense, which here we are.
It's a new passion.
Yeah, exactly.
Killed it, man.
It's been
But you
fun.
got to be passionate about food and beverage.
Yeah, love it.
So
Absolutely
that
love
trip
it.
though, like where'd you start? Like when you backpack, where'd you go?
So
to
we
discover it?
flew into Athens, had zero plans, just a couple clothes and a backpack, hung out in Athens for 2 nights, did the Parthenon, all the scenic things like that. And then while we're out one night, all the locals are like, you got to hit the islands, in which, we didn't know where to go, which obviously, your more popular islands, Santorini, stuff like that. But that's a long way away. You got to catch a flight to go to those islands. But for us, it was like we wanted to keep it local. So we got on a boat taxi and went 2.5 hours from Athens to a little town called Hydra, Greece, which was probably my favorite place because there was one motorized vehicle on the whole island, and it was a garbage truck. So it was the most peaceful place you've ever been to in your life. And there was no sound. People that lived on the island brought their donkeys down to the port twice a day to get all their groceries and stuff like that. But then they just went back about their business. So it was fun. But we went there and then 2 other islands, back to Athens, back home, ate everything in sight, asked a ton of questions, realized that they call Jaeger bombs submarines over there, which was fun because we were in the Jaeger bomb phase back then.
Yeah, there was a phase for sure.
I got a comment by Warren. What's your handicap with flip-flops versus shoes?
So I am much better in flip-flops about 3 or 4 beers deep on about hole number 5. So
we're talking golf.
Yeah.
Okay.
I knew Warren was going to chime in with something on the golf side of it for sure.
He was waiting.
He texted me. That was serious.
Yeah, there's some stories out there, and there's been some times, for me, being the stature that I am, I found myself in some interesting matches and games with some people. So out of the gate, a lot of times we've always said a bad bet's better than no bet, and you can usually win your bet on the first hole. So, for me going up on the first tee with a button-down shirt and a pair of glasses and some flip-flops that are usually coming off by the end of the first hole, I've got you already.
Golfers are really just gambling addicts.
Well, I'll say this, and I'll stand by this. I've never met a good golfer that didn't gamble.
Oh, yeah.
And what I mean by that is like if you're good at the game and you really have been in that phase of it, you're betting on yourself at some point. Like to me, it was always that throughout. The whole goal for me growing up was just get a college scholarship. Like I didn't want my parents to pay for college. I wanted to get the scholarship. That was the whole thing. And I had no idea when I was 14 at the local country club. My dad's got me playing with these guys that are 50 years old, what was really taking place. But years later, he came clean that he was obviously betting on me against these guys. But to me, oh yeah, for sure. But when you're, 13, 14 out there with all these older guys, once it came time to play for a national championship or something like that, there's no pressure. Like pressure sitting over a 3-footer for $300 when you got $10 in your pocket, that's pressure. So once it got to that point later in my career, like collegiately, it was like, that was nothing, I've already been there.
Do you still golf to this day?
Only when we sponsor scrambles, but I do miss it. I keep up with it. I watch it every single week. In which, down here
I think we should do some kind of sponsorship with Warren and him, like do a little challenge.
Yeah, Warren's got game.
Warren's
Don't let him
the
fool
best
you.
hair you ever seen in your
Well,
life.
he's got a fucked up shoulder right now, so I think
So he's sitting back a little bit.
What is
No,
the
don't let him
alcohol
fool
ratio
that.
you try to go with? Like,
yeah, what's the balance?
like what do
What's
you
the
you
balance?
know, like is
the
it
golf cart?
It usually depends on who you're
Yeah.
playing with.
Yeah.
I got a group of guys that we always usually play in the same tournament, and they might play 3 or 4 times a year. So you got to go ahead and get going early.
you sideways before you get started, or just
No, usually,
No, I just want- yeah.
4th, 5th, by the back 9, we're dialed in.
Okay.
We're ready to go,
Back nine
you
without
know.
it. That's all that
But,
matters, baby. That's
yeah,
the most
back
important.
whole
9
last
warriors
day.
for sure. But
Yeah.
Real quick though, Justin Hewlett, I'm rocking his jersey. He called earlier and said that if USA beats Canada tonight, he's getting a tattoo live on the show with Barry, a patriotic tattoo. So I just want to throw that out there, Justin. I know you're watching. Huh?
I said, I hope it happens.
Oh, I mean, we had a pocket. Farabee was going to come on. They had to reschedule with us, but me and Kay were about to get haircuts live on the show. So tattoo is going to be a different level.
I was about to have to wear a mermaid tail the whole show, so I'm glad that didn't happen. But
you would have looked good in it. You would have rocked it.
Man.
You look. Which one thing I have to say about your brand is you're still open.
Oh yeah,
that's rare for a restaurant business to go past a couple years.
Yeah, it's it comes with its challenges for sure. For us, going into the first one, and there were so many lessons. I think for me personally, I learned so much from being part of the Mugshots brand that once it came time for me to have my own, there was lessons that I never forget from the first time of, my business partner, Chris, saying, hey, by the way, first rule is congratulations on opening the business for 2 weeks, but the employees got to get paid before you get paid. And it's like, that's 100% accurate, but for me, being in there and being part of it, I'll tell people all the time, it's like, I don't have anybody that works for me. They work with me because you're working with me because we're in there. Like, we're not absent, like we're there, so I think that's played, that whole mindset is what the longevity side of it comes from. But, I'm not going to sit here and say there hasn't been challenges. There's been a ton of challenges. We grew way too fast, way too quick, spread ourselves too far. We looked up and 6 years into it or 7 years into it, we have 5 locations across 3 different states. If they gave an award for the worst growth pattern for a restaurant brand, I always said that I would definitely win that without a doubt, because we had one location in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, the next one in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, the third one was in Covington, Louisiana, and the fourth one was in Birmingham. So if you look at that footprint, it was just way outside. We grew way outside, way too quick of, people knowing who we were, And for us, it was just an inferior mindset of we're going to make it work just because we work hard, but every now and then you can pick a bad location. And when you do, it's going to come back and bite you in the butt at some point.
Do you think you can grow without you kind of putting your hands on it, though? Do you feel like going too far out is too much? Do you like being more personal?
No, I think to me, looking back at it, it's like, you take, like, and everybody uses this, and I don't want to sound cliche by any means, but the Chick-fil-A model. Like, the people in D'Iberville Chick-fil-A are doing the same thing at the same time of the day as people in Louisville, Kentucky. You know what I mean? So they quickly realized that the training side of it is it. I'm not going to be the one that's going to be in Tuscaloosa tomorrow making gyros, but our brand's over there. You know what I mean? So how good is our training package, to make that happen? Like, that's the most important part. 100%.
Everybody's gonna have a DJ?
Yeah.
Making that blueprint.
Yeah. Not everybody's got a DJ.
Everybody needs a DJ.
Everybody needs it. That's a great line. For sure. Everybody does need a DJ by all means. But yeah, I mean, that's it in a nutshell. We went through it, and then, for me personally, I fell into the guilt of, judging success off of how many locations you have. That's not it. Like, perception is so different, especially when you talk about, the public perception for restaurants. They can look at a place and be like, man, it's packed. Just because it's packed doesn't mean it's making money by any means. It's great because there are a lot of places, and I've been in these situations before, where you're standing at the front door and you're begging people to come in, and that's no fun either. But just because every single table's packed, that doesn't mean you're making money. Like, everything else has got to be right, So it's a lot that goes into it, and people that have never been a part of it will never truly get it or understand it. But, I think that kind of shapes you into the type of person and a mindset that you have as you're doing it, But great. For me personally, it was, I guess my radar for success was how many can you get? How quick can you get them? Well, that doesn't mean anything when you're circling back and closing them down, because it's expensive to open a restaurant. Trust me, it's even more expensive to close them, and it's no fun. And those meetings suck. We've always said that we would never be the type of people we're going to post a sign on the door and you're just going to walk in and figure it out. I'm going to go in and I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to tell you what went wrong, and it's going to be my fault, because ultimately it is my fault. So, and doing that, it kind of makes you get in a mindset and a place of, I never want to do that again, and I think you have to go through that for sure.
You have to learn from your mistakes.
Yeah, you learn way more from them than any of the successes by any means.
How many locations do y'all have?
So with Glory Bound, we have 3 locations: Hattiesburg, Tuscaloosa down here. The Lady May, we just have the location here, and then the garage, the location here as well. For me personally, as we grew so fast, there was times where I would leave Covington, Louisiana, and drive 5.5 hours to Birmingham, knowing that both of them were not making money and haven't made money in months, and that was a hard time for me, just being on the road. When you got a lot of wind, you got a lot of windshield time, you think a lot is what I mean?
That's the deep shit right there.
People don't get it, and they'll never understand it, and it is what it is to that point. Now, there's nothing you can do about it in that instance, but for me, it was just scared of saying, man, holy hell, we failed. I did something wrong. We should have closed them up way before we did. It was the mindset of like, holy hell, my hard work eventually is going to turn this thing around. That's not it all the time. Yeah. Sometimes you pick a bad location.
You want to learn humility.
It does. And when you got that windshield time, that's when it really
to be the
pops
star
up.
Too.
Yeah,
like
no
you're
doubt.
supposed to be
there was a lot of times where I was having to make that drive. And I'll never forget one time I was making it, and then the monthly reports come out, and it's while I'm driving up to Birmingham to go work the whole weekend, and knowing where it's at, and you see that report, and man, it hits you. Like, I think it hit me when I was in Meridian, so you still had like 2.5 hours to think about it.
Miserable ride
and
ever.
And when you pulled in, the thing was, you sat in the parking lot, you got your shit together. And you walked in with a smile on your face, high-fiving everybody. Like, all right, we're about to turn this thing around.
No
idea.
Bring the morale.
Exactly.
You have to bring the morale.
And you couldn't walk in with that, And to me, that's hard. That sucks. I'll never want to go through that again in my life. But at the same time, that's also why you look at our blueprint now, and it's like you find a town like we found here and everything that's going on. It's like I would rather open up a couple different concepts within the area than this concept all over the place, so it's shaped how we have modeled our growth by all means, but that's not to say we won't circle back. I think it would be an injustice
on this. So like, how's being single starting the restaurant to like the business? Well, it would say like a lot of businesses to being married. Has it helped? Like, with having a family now, where you kind of
personally, without a doubt,
it has to.
My wife's great, love her to death. There she is, but she worked for us at one time, and which there's no question about that stability, by all means. For me, it was go, and then I get it. I didn't get married till 42, 41, something like that. So it was like I did everything backwards. Like I put the career ahead of everything, did all that, and then it was like the personal side of it. So I feel like I'm just now in the personal side of my life.
I think you did it right.
That's I was gonna say that's how it should be. Get your shit out of the way.
Yeah, money, but you know who you are now.
For sure. Had to do all the screwing up, and which did it in a business mindset of that, because I couldn't imagine being in my position now of having to struggle through some unsuccessful locations. Like that would suck.
Going through a relationship and having that going on, and
but at the same time, it gives you a lot of motivation too. Like
I think I just learned from you, man.
Fire, brother.
Yeah,
it does.
There's no doubt.
Because we're trying to, man. Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I really appreciate how much thought you put into your locations, man. And just the whole business model itself. When we went into the garage, all the tables and everything. It's we really appreciated that aspect of it. Like,
with the casters on them.
Yeah,
every little detail, man. It was dope. It really is.
Yeah, you got to kind of, and we just learned that over time. If you could have seen the first location we opened with just the wood panel walls and the chairs and the tables, we just had to get the thing open because there was no money, we were completely out of money, completely over budget, so it was just get it open, but as you go through the years of stuff, it's like, and anything that we just all of a sudden hit a home run with by any means, we had to kind of acquire that over, in which, we've gotten better with it with the people that we have around us and our team, you know, but that was fun. The garage was something fun to put together. We wanted something different, but at the same time, like when you go in the front door, there's a sign above that says it is what it is. You know, I think one of the major challenges for me and for us out of the gate was when you get into this industry, you're trying to please so many people. Like that's hard. Like that's exhausting. You know, you have to have an identity of what you want and you put it out there and then you let everybody decide from there. So for us, it was like, hey, this is what it is, you know, so we want to be sure that you're aware of that, you know, before you even come in. Like, yes, everything's in a can because we're going to recycle the cans, you know. If you're looking for a cold bottle, like, I'm sorry, but like that's not what we're doing, you know. But it's like you just can't appease everybody, you know, and which for me personally, that was hard. Like that was one of the hardest things for me to get a hold of out of the gate, because when you have one location and you're in Hattiesburg and you're working day in, day out, and when somebody, I'll never forget, I think we've been open like 6 months, and a server came back and this lady was like, hey, you know, didn't really enjoy my meal. She wants to talk to you. I go out there and she's like, son, how long have you been open? It's like, we've been open for 6 months. She said, well, I just want to tell you, this isn't going to work. Like, this isn't it. Now, granted, we were trying to sell gyros in South Mississippi to people that had never heard anything about it. So out of the gate, it's a challenge, you know? And she said that. And finally, you know, I'd had just enough of it. It was like, man, we sold 10,000 of them last month. I think we're going to be okay. We're going to make it. I appreciate your opinion of it, but I think we're going to be okay, you know? And you eventually get to that point, you know? It's like there's only so much you could do, but you have to create your identity, be behind your identity, and then say, hey, here it is. Like, this is it, you know? But that was hard for me to swallow. That was hard for me to get, you know, whenever I used to live, like I would no, but I did. The first couple of years that we were open, the first few locations, it was day in and day out, and it shaped my day. Like if one bad one came through, it was like, man, day's gone to hell. Can't come back from it, you know. You're like, what happened? You start calling everybody. Yeah.
I started replying.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what? I was like, fuck you too.
Yeah.
So I was like,
and it's hard not to, you know what I mean? Because it's your product, it's your baby. It's what you put the time and effort into, and somebody just crumbles all over it, you know? And for me, it was hard to accept that. I never could. I guess I'm pretty quiet. I sit back. I let everything happen around me, but I just couldn't. I couldn't ever take it to that point to where I'm like responding to it. But to me, I'll be honest with you, I love people that do. I love people that stand up. And I think, you know, we're talking about a time in 2009, 10 when we first got started. It's completely different than now. Like times have changed in the sense of that. It's like you couldn't say anything like that back then.
That was
you know,
the po' boy phase.
Yeah, for sure.
The po' boy phase. Remember that?
Yeah.
Like, everybody wanted oyster and shrimp po' boys. That's all you heard about.
Yeah.
On the French bread from New Orleans,
but
tough ass bread.
Like I say that to say, like, I have the utmost respect for the people that do stand up for it. You know, it's like, hey, this is it. You know, so I love those type of people, and I respect the hell out of them for sure. I have, you know, I battled with it, but now it's to the point where I couldn't tell you. And I get alerts when some do come in. If they're opinionated stuff, I don't pay much attention to them. But if it's something operational wise, like, hey, you know,
direct.
I asked for no onions. You put onions on there. I'm allergic. That's a problem. Like, that's on us, you know? So if we made the mistake, then man, we're all over that side of it. But, you know, it's hard in this day and age with so many outlets for the opinion side of it, you know? So I have to kind of tune that out.
We got to be better now too, because Warren's our partner and he's very nice and professional.
Be careful, he's watching right now.
I know it. No, I'm giving him props. Like, I need to get off the damn. I'm not gonna get on my phone anymore.
Well,
like,
even with that, it just takes one to light into him one good time, and then you're like, all right, that's it.
Well, he started getting that in Gula a little bit.
Yeah,
man. We were like, you see this? Like,
well, it's when they lie.
It's
when they just ball face lie on there. You gotta be like, "Are you lying?"
Yeah, I say
we
that.
Love that, dude.
Yeah,
love that. I'll pull up your records, bro. I'll pull up the camera. I'm like.
So, you know, the whole mindset of the industry has always been, you know, the customer's always right. Like, it was no matter what it was, they could come up with any kind of complaint. It's like, that happened. They're right.
The worst thing that ever happened
It's
to
terrible.
the industry when they started saying that.
Yeah. But now it's like everybody's got cameras
Yeah.
Everybody has computer systems. Everybody has timestamps of all of it. So it's like, at what extent is it really what it was? So
yeah,
it's part of it though. It'll never go away.
Right.
It'll always be there. I think for us, it's like just finding a way to handle it. That's the most important thing.
Well, like them Square reviews, you don't even see them. They go to like some spam folder.
I like that.
I fell in there one time. I was like, "Oh my god!" Never looking.
Hey,
there
Brad,
again.
you want to hop on and hit them with questions?
Uh-oh. You got wings?
Yeah, he's got all kinds of shit happening back there.
Come down.
Didn't know Brad had some wings back there.
Can we get some refills over here, buddy?
Putting Justin on
I
bartender.
mean,
Y'all don't
his
forget
fam-
tip
this
your
is
bartender.
family.
And he's got
Oh,
a master
100%.
shirt on, by the way.
No, he is the best. But if we keep getting up, it's gonna
I don't believe
tear
it.
the cords out.
Oh,
You
well,
definitely got a master shirt on.
well, shit.
What we got here? We got
Whatever.
You can make it all.
Yeah,
the
whatever.
same.
You
I
want.
don't care.
Yeah. Do you want to get?
Well,
Dealer's
Thank you,
choice.
bud.
Dealer's choice.
You go up there. I'll hold the mic. That's one of our things is we'll get up like we first start doing live here.
Yeah.
We'll get up and like take pee and just
Yeah,
make drinks, and everybody's like, Tommy Soche is my uncle, little Tommy's dad.
Yeah.
He's like, y'all need to sit y'all's ass down.
Got too much going on,
Yeah, that's
Like,
that's something we're learning. But I mean, he's got image striping. Shout out to Monk. But he's like, y'all need to sit y'all's ass down.
run through everything.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not that structured, huh? I like that. Like that's good. That's where you get the literally the most out of it, though. It's like,
It's raw.
yeah, that's a good thing. That's the good part of it.
so we got a new mixer because we were getting up so much we'd pull the wires out while we're doing the podcast, and so we'd have to plug them back in. And most of our stuff's with duct tape too, half the time.
It has to be. Like that's when you know it's actual.
I mean, but this new one has been we can go up to like 6 mics.
That's a lot of people.
That's what's been happening. We've been
Is everybody
might
fighting
still
for
happen.
words at 6 mics?
no,
No.
not if you let some if you get into a story about your business and you care about your company.
Yeah.
And you're actually being authentic towards how you started your business. People are gonna, if they care, they're gonna listen to you.
No doubt. Completely. That's the funny part, like where we're at in our whole marketing side of things. It's like, it's the story side of it. Like
Yeah.
everybody now is like, all right, well, give me some back info on all this.
So on that, can we go into Lady May and like I read somewhere it was your grandmother's recipes and that's what you
yeah, so that whole concept was funny, in which it came together during COVID. The building became vacant. Mr. Fred Moran, who absolute respect the hell out of that man. He's great. He's unreal. I watch him all the time, because he's such a good entrepreneur and everything that he's done around here. And not just him, but his family,
Yeah.
But like, and he reached out and he was like, the building's vacant. Do you have any ideas? And I was like, yes, I got one that I've had in my back pocket that myself and my business partner came up with a long time ago, but it's like, I'm nervous about the time of it. It's like when I say peak COVID, it was peak COVID. I think I was in Glory Bound working day in and day out, and we were having to deliver the to-go orders to the gate because you couldn't even go into the establishments. So it was weird to have the mindset of like, all right, well, let's get ready to come up with a new brand and open a new location while we're having to go through this. So
Thanks,
it was,
Thank you.
it was a little different, but once he reached out, I went and looked at the building right around the corner, obviously, called my business partner. I was like, hey, this might be it. And of course they expressed the same concerns as I had. It's like, is this the time to be doing anything right now? Like, it was so much uncertainty, you know what I mean? Like, nobody knew what was going on or what was going to happen, So I told Mr. Fred, I was like, let's let it sit. We're just not sure for a minute. And a couple months went by and he reached back out and was like, I'm getting a ton of interest, do you want to do something? And I was like, we can't pass this up. Like, it's downtown Ocean Springs. Like, it's hard to get locations down here. And so had a meeting with my business partner, like, let's do it. So met with Mr. Fred, lined it all out, and that's how it was kind of came together. It was fun to put it together because we had it in our mind, but once you have it in your mind, you have it on paper and all these spreadsheets, and then you actually go to making the building kind of match what you're thinking, and then you're having to do it in a turnkey location, which, that meant the tables in the building, the walls were already there, and For us, the kitchen was already set up in a sense, but it was like, how is this going to match what we had in our minds? And I'll never forget, we met with Mr. Fred, and he goes, I told him, I said, one of our stipulations before we do anything is like, I want to bring the courtyard to inside. So it's inside to outside. So it's one big unity. Like right now, it felt like it was separated. And he said, you do know that those walls are concrete, right? And I was like, we'll find a way to get through them. So my boy Cam, shout out to Cam, always great at everything that he does. Bless his heart, he got through there. And we put a couple garage doors in there, which we quickly found out a couple months later into summer that you better make sure your insulation and everything else is in line once you put garage doors into a building, or it's going to be hot inside. But it did succeed in bringing inside to outside and outside to inside. It made it feel like one big location. So once we did that and started putting it together, you open the thing up and you have an idea of what you want it to be. And then you kind of got to take a step back and get out of the way and let it evolve into what it's going to evolve into. And that's what we did. We knew that we wanted to do everything. I'm from North Mississippi, so I grew up on slug burgers, fried chicken, things like that. My business partner's from Metairie, so he grew up on crab cakes, crawfish Monica, things like that. So when you look at the menu, it's literally consists of dishes that we ate at our grandmother's house every Sunday, because we got together every Sunday. They got together every Sunday, both big families, and never had a bad meal at grandma's house. You know what I mean? Man. So, and then you also always had dessert at grandma's house. So that's why we do the whole dessert side of things at Lady May. But it came together in that sense, and then we let it evolve into what it evolved into. The menu change was like a few dishes, but for the most part, it's been what it's always been. And we're not looking to really change a whole lot with it, and then you just let it happen.
I send everybody to Lady May.
Yeah, we do.
Because they come in here and like they don't like our to-go thing here. I mean, this is more.
Yeah.
And they say, where's a good plastic? Man, Lady May's got the most unique menu. Truly, really,
it's great.
Really
I appreciate it.
Love it. Yeah, we've got live music.
Yeah, we knew we wanted to do the whole brunch thing. I felt like while being down here, we opened Glory Bound down here in 2018 for a few years. So we've been down here a couple of years. And like, the brunch was just missing. But you look around on a, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and it's like, there's people everywhere,
Oh, man.
And so I feel like escalating that just kind of really got people out and about more, which is good because that's what we want down here. We want them hitting all the spots. We want them moving around early. We want them moving around all day.
So there's a story that I want to share with. So me, John Carter, and Cam. Me and John created Carter's Champions, and Cam's a board member with us. We also the Pink Dress Run and Chandelier. Well, Cam's drinking at Lady May. It's so crazy. He's like, we have this, we have our group chat, and Cam was listening to Cash. He booked Cash, and he sends us a video, and he didn't even know Cash, and he's like scrolling. He's like, just filming. He goes, we got to do something with him. Well, we brought him to the Pink Dress Run. He played. And then John's the president of the Coliseum for the Crawfish Fest. And then we took Cash from there to the Crawfish Festival, and that was his first, big show. And then he started sleeping on my futon, like because of Cam. And we just started taking Cash everywhere we went. And now Cash signed one of the largest records. And I would say that first video, I still have that video, is at Lady May, and it's just like Cam's very shy. Like when it comes to, he's not just walk up. He's like, we got to do something about him. And I was like, and then we just
once again, it's hard to hide talent.
Yeah,
the man's got a ton of it. The funny thing was, I think DJ tells us all the time because DJ booked all the entertainment at Lady May, always has since we've been open. But I think it was like an open mic night, open mic night on a Wednesday night, and Cash just strolls in, and he got up there, and I'll never forget. DJ sent me a message when he first started playing. It was like, you ain't gonna believe what just walked in here, and he like, man, holy hell, like that dude's got it. And then we booked him at Glory Bound, a couple other gigs. He's all around town, and he was literally at our house a couple months ago when he was back home for the holidays. But it's crazy to hear the success and the road that he's on, man. It's awesome. I love it.
I would say for Cam out of Lady May though, because like Cam's has a side of music too, and it's just that pick, and I'm like, I mean, me and Oliver like FaceTime, and it's like the way his career's grown.
Yeah.
But it's all started through your Glory Bound, Lady May, because we would have to go and see him. He'd be like, hey, we're playing here, but it's always at your establishments.
Yeah.
And I have to give you credit for that because you changed that boy's life.
Well, I'm gonna have to give it to DJ because you know what I mean. Like, I think he just took advantage of the opportunity. You know what I mean? Like, he literally walked in and was like, "Here it is." And then, I mean, he was playing everywhere around here.
You gave him a stage though.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Like he's got it. There ain't no doubt about it. And it's fun to watch and it's fun to see. I mean, hell, he was up on stage with Zach Braun and then he played the Opry a couple months ago.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
Yeah.
come on, man.
He's killing
Like, but you know, to me, I love the idea of personally, the thing that I love most about being in the whole industry is like you have an opportunity to give opportunity. I'm not saying that we gave Cash he just took advantage of the opportunity of having an open mic night, you know. But for us, I constantly have people all the time like, hey, well, I met my husband, I met my wife there, like all this, whatever it is.
That's
like,
what matters.
Yeah, like that's to me, that's what kind of changes things in a sense. Like I love that.
Deep
yeah,
hope. Like,
for sure. It's like
it
all
gives
we
you that
did was
drive to keep doing what you're doing.
all we did was created a platform. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, and people do whatever they want to with the platform, you know? And I say that all the time, even with all of our managers and stuff. It's like, you know, I'm going to give you an opportunity. Somebody gave me an opportunity. It's like, I like seeing what you're going to do with that, you know? And that's what, you know, you can give them all the tools you want to be successful. It's like, how far are you going to take it? You know, because we can go for a ride. That's for sure. You know, but it's a lot of times it's up to them.
I see blind dates coming here and I could tell it's a blind date. I think these guys are brilliant, man. They come in here and spend like $15 on 2 coffees, and they're here for 3 hours.
We got to get them back for more. Like, we got to get a smaller cup. We got to go something. We got to.
They'll sit here all day, and I'm like, God, they're hitting it off.
Yeah.
I started working the cash register.
Up, dude. The fine dining
$15, and I think they went home together.
We gotta
I don't
get,
know.
yeah.
I mean, who knows? But I mean, maybe they got married. I don't know.
I started
You
working.
changed their life.
Well, I started working the cash register here. Just like I've been doing insurance. I have an insurance company.
Worse on the cash register.
Oh, but by
I'm
far.
sure he keeps up the good conversation.
For insurance, by the way.
But we get there, and there's two.
He's getting all kind of gigs.
There's two. There was 2 couples for Valentine's Day. It was hilarious, and they're all like, you know, they're like on a date. They're newly dating because they're fighting over the card. Like they're fighting over who's paying. It's like it's a real thing. Like it's who could slide in the card faster.
My dumbass back in the day was
got to
like
get ahead.
Tablecloth setting and pressing.
You probably were.
Like $250 and.
I would just put 112 Cupid on.
So
What we got right here?
Did you do this with the teller?
So what's that?
You got to bring your mic.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, this is your.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We're about to eat.
Yeah. So what we got here is we got some wings. We got them seasoned up with Lady May's Cajun seasoning.
Can't beat that.
We got them doused in Lady May's olive oil. We were going to put them in Lady May beef tallow.
This is all the stuff my mom gave you today, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Love that.
I had to beg her, man.
Mhm.
I had to beg her. So
Love
we were going to put it in the beef tallow. By the way, if y'all don't know about the beef tallow, it's beef tallow. If you have erectile dysfunction or male pattern baldness, you will want to try the beef tallow. It will not help, but it's so good you will forget about it. So
It hasn't been plugged as that yet. That's a first. Like that's a first. Wait, for
Hashtag
baldness?
Lady Mays.
For baldness?
like I said, it won't help, but you will
Okay,
forget
yeah.
about it.
Yeah,
You will
gotcha.
forget about it.
Yeah.
So
Love that.
when that product hits the shelves again, you'll want to try that.
Great to cook with, full of vitamins. A, D, E, K, all the vitamins that you want. Just from the earth, you
That's
know.
what I'm
Man,
talking about. But
they
yeah,
smell delicious.
we are going to try them with Lady May's habanero pepper sauce here, and their Cajun seasoning. We're going to see how these go.
Get in there. Somebody go
habanero
first.
on it?
Yes, please.
I love our new producer.
I'm gonna need it.
Oh my God.
This is great.
All right, I'm going in too.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all all went for the drums, huh?
Yeah.
I like it.
All right.
Is this like a one bite, everybody knows the rule kind of thing with wings?
With the
Right here?
flat, you can do that.
These are
Right?
also your wings.
Yeah, I'll see. Now we're talking. Shout out to Benny Keith.
Benny Keith, we thought about working with them.
I'll grab another plate.
Good.
It was good.
That was
Good and hot.
Yes, sir.
I didn't realize how, man, that hot
Have
sauce is
another
good. Come on now.
Fucking banger.
What flavor? What's that flavor right there next to Will? Will,
What's that?
What's
The
that
hot
flavor?
sauce?
Yeah, right there, the one you just dropped the wing in.
Oh, I think it's all ranch, huh?
This is ranch.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
the flavor's on the wing.
No, I know, but like I'm saying, like,
He cooked it.
so I
all
got
in.
some a little heat on it.
That's from the hot sauce, baby.
All right.
See, when I was growing up, grandma's house,
vinegar based sauce.
Yeah. When I was growing up at grandma's house, you had to put hot sauce on the wings.
Everything, man. I love
Fried
that
chicken,
sauce.
the fried chicken. That's it. But back then it was
Damn,
the fried chicken on the skillet on the oven. So it's that good cast iron crisp, like
Dude, that honey fried chicken platter you got.
yeah.
I had somebody there last week and she got it and I tasted it. It was incredible.
That's what the fun part is. Like you mentioned it earlier, you like always send people over there. I love when people are like, I'll say the same things like, hey, y'all got to go check it out. They're like, well, tell me about it. I'm like, well, it's like eating at grandma's house. And that's all I'll say. And then once you say that, it's like, that's it. That's all I need to know. Because like I said earlier, like you ain't ever had a bad meal at grandma's house, and that's what we wanted it to be.
It was so
Jordan, you have more than one if you want one.
So
I'm going to.
I knew the food reflected that, but I guess I was thinking Lady May was like this antebellum feeling.
Yeah.
But that could be grandma too.
Yeah.
So
Love the pinup girls, all that.
Yeah. So
we were waiting on you to open. I mean, I was
a
so
funny
happy.
story with that is, once we were putting the whole thing together, we wanted it to be just from that air, like the wallpaper, the plateware, like that whole side of it. So, back then in those days, the pinup girls that was it, just put them on the side of her up front. She's there 5 days a week. She always gets people all the time be like, now, are you Lady May? And they'll be holding a jar or something with the sticker of it. And she's like, no, that's not me.
She should
like
mess with
I
people.
told her, I was like, yes,
Just
own it.
say
That's
it's
like,
you.
own it,
Yeah.
100%. Like, yes.
Next generation.
Yes,
have you
Mom.
seen your business? I mean, going through the packaging and creating a product. I mean, could you sustain even without a restaurant with now that line?
Yeah, for sure. And which, the way that whole thing came together is once we put the brand together, this is such an area down here of people walking out of towners. You know what I mean? Like they're literally people in for the weekend, things like that. Well, one of the biggest challenges that we faced when we were trying to grow a brand, let's say Glory Bound, for example, was it just takes time. Like there's no way to rush mother time. Like, and for us, it was like, you just have to let it evolve and let it develop and let people go. We went from a college town in Hattiesburg to a college town in Tuscaloosa. Well, guess what? When people leave a college town, where do they go? They move out. Well, whenever they move out to wherever they're going to, they carry the brand with them, so that takes time to happen, and it takes time to get your brand out. Well, for Lady May, the whole idea is they're already coming here from out of town, so everything that we're doing from the jellies to the biscuits to all that, we want to put a market up front to where when they leave, they're carrying it with them. So if they're in town from Ohio and they eat the biscuits and the jelly, they're like, you know what? Next week I can make the same biscuits and jelly. Let me get it on my way out. Like that helps grow the brand and get the brand out there. It's actually somebody referred to it similar to that the other day, and I didn't even think of that. But yeah, it's that in a sense. Now Cracker Barrel sells way more toys than everything else. We're more toys.
My mom walked away with a rocking chair once.
Yeah, I bet you still got it.
$500 rocket.
It's hard to sit out front of Cracker Barrel in a rocking chair and not want to go get one and take it home with you. I get it. So, but at some point they're taking it with them, and that was the whole idea of starting what we did with the market. Now, did we know it was going to evolve into what it evolved into? No, had no idea. So, but that was the idea behind it.
Huh? Does it? Just
Too many viewers.
hit that recorder. No recorder. Hit it on and off.
Yeah, it's like my mom, my sister, and
Stop the recording.
a cousin
turn it
from
on and
like
off, record
Blytheville,
again.
Arkansas, probably,
Huh?
and my in-laws,
And then hit the little red recorder.
and maybe Brett's dad, Salvador Alexis,
There's Warren.
and Warren.
What?
Yeah, we can't forget about Warren, who's nursing an arm injury. We're hearing. Yeah.
You got it.
I don't see anything on the display.
I might have to get up, boss.
Still frozen. Could you back refresh it?
Is it frozen over there?
I don't know.
Oh look.
We shut down the internet.
We are frozen.
No, with too many viewers, man.
It happens every now
I
and
get
then.
it. Yeah.
If you're not enjoying this podcast, please log out.
Add that to the list.
Is it frozen over there?
Great. Nice. All right.
He's like, good thing I didn't
Awesome.
cancel myself.
Yeah.
Figure out how to have a conversation.
Yeah.
Something I do.
Awesome. So now we're back
Enjoy.
live with the stream. Nobody knew that you could
Yeah.
hear anything that was just being
No,
said.
here.
Great. No, all good.
We're back.
Yeah, we're back.
Great.
No, when the live stream stuff has
Going
been
again.
so. Jared Seymour at Brownwater, and me. 2018, we started doing podcasts,
Yeah.
and we're trying. And then Jared's like, "Hey, I'm going to do live stream." I'm like, "What the fuck?" Like, I did it for Twitch in 2012 when I played video games. Like, I was a Twitch streamer, and I made money on Twitch just playing Call of Duty. But that's been the hardest thing is figuring out how to live stream and be consistent with it. You can do it where it's just like record it.
I think y'all are doing a great job with it. It's fun. Like just from my standpoint of things, like it's natural. You know, it feels real.
And that's
Like-
it puts you out of your
That's the
comfort
whole
zone.
Yeah,
point,
for sure. Yeah.
Everybody's got an image. Everybody wants like this is what you see. Like I remember having Dave Elliott on, and shout out to Dave, I love you, but it's like a certain image.
Yeah.
Shout out to
But he's there because he's got his own. He's trying to do his own podcast. But you're like you're able to see Dave Elliott for the first time. I mean, he flicked a cigarette in my yard, and I got Bobby Charles that did Theo Vaughn's podcast table. He's making an art piece now because like I have a Marlboro Ultra cigarette. If I smoke cigarettes, I'm smoking a Marlboro Light. But he had an Ultra. He flicked it. I'm like, that's the first person ever flicked a cigarette in my yard.
Yeah.
Like, and I took it and picked it up, and I called Bobby, and I go, "Hey, can you make this into an art piece?"
A real heater, if you will.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, he's been in. David Elliott's been what?
That's what you should name that piece, the heater.
There
That's
you
not
go.
bad. That's not bad though.
You could take it. Let's go ahead.
All
I
right.
got it. Yeah.
We put it.
We
We,
should
yeah,
get 10%.
the real heater.
I just
Yeah.
stole it.
we could put it. We could put it Glory Bound on Friday nights.
That would be funny.
Little Coops Matty offered
Yeah.
and wait until he left to put up that live on air sign.
Oh, live on. Oh yeah.
All right.
Who said that?
Well, I was going to.
The real question is if my mom figured out how to operate like
His mom
live stream, she's not going to know how to message if she is. There's no
Try
way.
to get your mom
she'll
to
probably
show up here
she'll probably
live.
call
Cut it short, man.
Summer before she'll know how to message anything about all means. But bless her heart, you know, a little challenge with, you know, the new age type of things, but they'll figure it out.
It takes time.
Yeah,
I
it does
mean,
take
I-
time,
I have-
or somebody to actually do it for you.
I
Which
mean,
is
it
what
does
my
take
dad.
time.
My dad will call Summer all the time and be like, "Hey, my phone's not working." Like, okay, what's wrong with it? He's like, it's just not working.
He called her and he's saying his phone's not
Well,
working.
call
while
from
he
mom.
called her.
Call from mom's phone.
Ah.
Phone's
So
not
what's the
working, yeah.
issues that we're dealing with?
Silent mode a lot of times. Yeah, like he airplane accidental button.
oh,
you know,
yeah.
they're one of those in which I don't know if anybody else deals with this. Like when they don't call a lot, but when they do call, it's like back to back to back to back. It's like, hey, you just called, they hung out, accidentally calling you again, you answering like, hey, and then finally you have to call them and be like, hey, you just called me 8 times. They're like, oh, I don't know. I guess I was hitting the button on accident. Like we don't close it out, you know. So
I know that one.
that's you
Yeah.
know,
Well,
we get
out
it.
there like on Instagram or TikTok scrolling around and stuff. I mean, that's not even a thing for them, huh?
No,
I
not at
love
all.
it.
No way.
You were talking earlier about spreading too thin, like going everywhere.
Yeah.
We do see you as a business mentor. Are we the same age? I'm 42. How old are you?
43. Yeah.
All right, so it's okay that I look up to you then.
No, don't.
So, so
Nobody really ever looks up to me.
No, but I'm saying we only did a second. Well,
fantastic.
shit, that was a metaphor. So we only did the
Clip
second one in
that.
Pascagoula, and you know we're thinking about Oxford. But I'm like, yeah, that's heavy, man. 5 hours, like I'm
Yeah.
thinking about that run.
Yeah, it's a
If
stretch.
things weren't going right, I'd be the most rural ass drive ever.
Yeah, you had to go through West Point, born and raised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Really, the only thing there now is I think the pink pony.
are you saying? If I was asking you, are you saying that we should stay within like the half-hour radius and try? Because coffee's like selling bottled water, kind of, you know.
I
mean,
would
you
never
can
say that I like. To me, growth is it's there. You know what I mean? Like it's always the opportunity.
Well, Oxford has unlimited
Yeah, for
money.
sure. There's no
Yeah.
doubt about it. Especially
Oxford's
it's
great.
yes, 100%. You know, so I would never say, you know, don't take advantage of the growth opportunity. I would just say grow strategically in the sense of what makes sense.
Yeah.
For me, I would be nervous about it. And I'm talking about our group and who we have and the people amongst us is like, I would probably want to move up there for a while. And then I'm not nervous about it by any means because I got my hands on it. But, for us, it's like, hour and a half.
And having them copy it and you're not being there to make sure
it's tough.
It's up to par.
So I just wonder, do I want to sacrifice that in my life? I'm prepared to be 42 years old in Oxford. I don't know.
Oxford's a fun town. They win a lot of football games.
I know,
it's not going anywhere. But
we got the alumni.
It depends on where you're at and what you think you can handle with it. For us, it's like I said, just having the people, and that's one thing that we've had to figure out for ourselves was like we have a team. Like we have a big team, and the team has actually progressed from being servers that were with us 12 years ago to now our area managers and now running the operations for the e-commerce side and things like that. So like they've progressed as the brands have progressed, which is good because I love giving that opportunity and not having to go outside and like pull people like that in, but it's always going to be the challenges part of it, but, for somebody that can say, I can take 6 months out of the life and move up there, train, get somebody there, do it. Yeah, man, all for it.
Your people who are working with you, as you say, and I like that. Do you ever incentivize them based on margins or anything, 100%. Or is it just salary?
Without a doubt, 100%. Have to have a bonus structure in place.
Yeah, so they feel like they're part of it.
Yes,
and they are a part of it.
Yeah, in which I've always said that they have to care about the ketchup bottle or the hot sauce that sits on the table because it has a number. Every single thing has a number that's within the walls of the restaurant. You know what I mean? So they have to have some sort of care about it. So I have always been big on that. To be honest with you, when I started with, the Mugshots brand from the get-go, it was figuring things out as they grew. And you got to understand, like that thing grew fast and it grew real quick. And they were putting, implementing things such as a bonus structure in place as it was growing. So whenever it came time, for us to do our thing and for my side of it, it was like, one, they're going to get paid before you get paid. Like that's one big lesson. It's just part of it. But you have to have that carrot in front of them because if they're not chasing the carrot, then you go into a shift and what the hell does it matter? You're just trying to maintain. So
got to make them us.
Yes, we have bonus structures in place. Everything's incentivized. Like you have to have that. Like you just can't have something. And I put it like, I don't want to go into a Tuesday and it not matter what we do on a Tuesday. It matters. Like it has to matter. It has to matter for them. So you have to have those things in place. Like it makes the difference. You see it automatically. It pays for itself, but you just have to put it in place and put it in front of them.
Well, I don't know if it's too private, but are y'all corporation or y'all do LLCs or
LLCs? Like we're all independently.
I'm sincerely asking questions because I truly do like admire you and look up to you.
I think that's I hate the misconception of, they're a chain. It's not a chain. Man, it ain't no chain at all. Like it's independently all. Yeah, it's 100%.
Multiple small businesses.
Will it get to that point? I don't know. The plan for us is to, and I feel like I would be doing a complete injustice to the Glory Bound brand to not circle back and give it another go. And we are going to, put that thing out there and franchise it. The box for us, the reason we had such struggles in the early years was the box wasn't complete. And what I mean by that is you couldn't pick the box up and go to this town, go to that town, go to that town. We were still putting the box together, but now we feel like we've got the box in a pretty good spot that we're ready to go with it. Timing wise, it's probably going to be first of next year, something like that. And we'll probably do a couple of different design layouts that we have in our mind for company stores. And then after that, like, let's go. There's no reason not to. I believe in the brand. I love the brand. I live the brand. So we're going to do it. We're going to give it another run with it, but I also love the exclusiveness of the Lady May brand. Like we probably won't ever do another one of those. I want those to just be in Ocean Springs. Like I want you to have to take a trip to come to Ocean Springs to go to that brand. You know what I mean? Like
that's an Ocean Springs brand.
Yeah, I agree.
So, that merch in there is global. I mean, you guys are sending that out.
Oh yeah, it's the whole e-com side of things has really blown up. For us, the whole story of it's wild. We've used tallow and we cook with tallow, and now everybody knows about this whole craze that's going on with tallow. I think Five Guys recently, or not Five Guys, but Steak and Shake just announced, oh, well, we're cooking in beef tallow. Like by I think 2 months from now, they're going to have all their locations cooking in beef tallow. Well, tallow's been around for ages.
But there's a lot of tallow that's not actually tallow.
Exactly. So
yeah, I know tallow.
Yeah.
My family's always used tallow.
Exactly. So it's getting to that point where the craze is out there that they're like, all right, well, you know, we're going to start using it. We're going to start jumping on board. To me, I'm like, man, we've been using it for years. Like, welcome to the game, but you're a little late, you know.
They're thinning out the tallow. These corporate, they're thinning it out.
Yeah, for sure. You know, but I'm a firm believer in history repeats itself and everything comes back around, you know, and this is just part of it. Like all this is part of it. I can remember time, like we tell this all the time. It's like, you know, when you think about it, your grandparents, your great grandparents lived to 90, 100 years old. Well, guess what they were living off of?
Yeah.
Like that.
Jar and bacon grease.
Yeah. That's it.
Is it
back when I did have hair, and I used to have hair, but when I was growing up, I had a cowlick in the front, cowlick in the back. Grandma's house on a Sunday, you walk by the kitchen, and she had a can of just lard right there. And
Lord,
guess what?
Yeah.
She was cooking with it and throwing it in the pans. But then also, if that cowlick was out of place, there you go. We back right where we need to be, just because you got lard in your hair. You know what I mean? And that's what they lived off of. And I'm a big believer in it, in which, you know, that could go into a whole nother thing of skincare and things like that being grown in labs and made in labs.
Knock that shit out.
Full circle.
But you know,
Hey, Summer, could you do me a favor and take both of them right behind you? Both of them awards. Can you pull them off the wall?
Oh, wow. Well, look, it's also, so we have double back. So I've been on carnivore for 2 years, and that is carnivore to me. You know, like I said to you earlier, like you say, hey, give the dogs the grease and then make their coat shiny.
That's it. Yeah.
But then that food pyramid has had us eating grains and bread and bullshit.
So
you know?
hop on screen with us.
I love it. Like,
yeah. So that's
I want to learn more about it through you.
Hey, this is Will's wife, Summer.
What do we have here? So we got.
Oh, it's
No, I'm gonna. Hey,
sorry, it's about us for a minute.
This guy and having this award,
yeah, but this is a big deal.
No,
This goes to Anthony right here. This is Anthony's.
You can have it.
No, this is something.
No, I mean, I love it. I mean, but
So,
that's for sure.
Ocean Springs Chamber of Commerce 2024 Entrepreneurs of the Year, right here.
originally I thought it was for.
I'm proud of you. You gotta show
2025.
yourself. You gotta show yourself.
I thought they knew how
Come on.
cool we were going to be.
Your mom's watching right now.
It was for 2025.
Yeah,
Actually,
turn it. Let's see it.
2025. I don't know what year I'm in.
it's
but,
for 2024.
So I will say this, and I know how y'all are. Y'all are just like me. That when stuff like this
Can't hold
is
it up.
earned, it's not given. You know what I mean? So you gotta take that with pride. You know what I
I
mean? Like,
do. And
y'all earn that. It's not given by any means. Like it's no. I think there's
who-
one.
but-
No,
Who votes on it though?
Yeah.
huh?
Who actually votes?
All
on
the people around the town, like Ocean Springs, the chamber.
I didn't
board,
get. I
all
didn't
of
get the
them, yeah.
vote very much.
So it's earned.
You probably did, but
You know what I mean?
you probably burned Paul.
No, man, I appreciate
So
it. No,
it's-
we love. Look,
No, we love it.
we were.
We've been
That's-
6 years.
I wasn't expecting. I knew we were supposed to get something, and I was not expecting this.
Yeah.
So,
You
Nah,
gotta be proud of
props,
it, man.
for sure.
well, entrepreneurs,
We're proud of it. We're proud
such
of
a
Yeah.
special word to
We
me,
love
and
the
like I
sound,
just
we're never
love it.
leaving.
So,
I
Well,
think I said
hey,
that.
Will-
It's the growth of it, man. Like y'all fit right into what
I
it
wanna
is, the
hold it.
blueprint of it, by all means.
Hey, Will, we're gonna send this off, but how can they find your e-commerce stores, your locations?
So obviously, all the restaurant locations: Glory Bound, Hattiesburg, Tuscaloosa, Ocean Springs. Lady May is here in Ocean Springs. The garage also in Ocean Springs. The e-com world, we're at LadyMayTallow.com. Also, the LadyMay.com has a few items as well. So that's it.
Hey guys,
yeah,
Lady
dude.
May Tallow.
And,
Will Taylor, man.
yeah, and a big part of Ocean
We
Springs,
appreciate
probably I would say almost half of
No.
the tourism and the coast. Shout out to you. Let's cheers this out.
Yeah,
and,
brother.
hey, keep going, dude.
Man.
Cheers.
Support small business.
Is
Got to.
anyone in this room ever been kicked out of your bars?
We usually don't kick anybody
Hey,
out, do we?
In the live,
For the most
Just
part.
asking. Just
in the
asking.
live, right now, in the
George,
live.
maybe once.
Me and Andy.
Sorry
Yeah.
for having a good time, you know.
I don't want to be ever.